Hello everyone, welcome to Card Design Thursday. So today we're going to be making a little fun fold card, and well, not really fun fold, but yeah, pop out. Maybe pop out card is the best way to describe it. This was a card that was inspired to me by Jennifer McGuire here on YouTube, and I love her card design. She makes beautiful cards. So I thought I would give this a try because I really wanted to highlight a new stamp set that I got by Tracy and Bill Phillips, and Tracy's YouTube channel is Gift Basket Appeal, and they have a new little store called Mindless Crafting. And so this was a stamp set that I received last month or so, and it's called, well, it would help if I put it right side up, maybe. It's called Spring Blossom. It's really, really pretty stamp set. And then I'm going to be using a sentiment that from a stamp set that I received in the mail the other day, and I'm going to be using the Thinking of You, and this is off the birthday celebration stamp set. So I'm going to be using that stamp set and the Thinking of You, and then let me show you the card. So this is a card. It is a 5x7 card, and I just took I used one of these little scallop framelits to do the little square on the front. I think I used the third one in. And then, so I stamped the Thinking of You on the front. So the person receiving the card really would have no idea what it looks like on the inside. Then you open it up, and this is what it looks like on the inside. And you can stand it up like this. And it has these cute little windows inside of it. So I just really think that is so cute. And I wanted to do this card, and I've been trying for 2 weeks to get it done, and I just got it done. So let me show you how to do it. It's really simple. So you're going to start with a piece of cardstock that is 10x7, and then you're going to score it in the middle at 5 inches. So that would be the base of the card. And then I'm using this piece right here to for my inside piece like that. And this piece right here needs to be 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that now for us. So let me open this up. And I have my gel pens out because I use my gel pens to color everything. And you are going to need a ruler. It would be really helpful. And I love my 10-hole ruler because it's already marked. So I'm going to cut this out. Let's see, it might be 6 3/4 this way. Because my card is 7, remember? And then I'm going to be cutting it at 4 3/4. And then we're going to put that on the front, because I want some of the yellow to show on this. So let's go ahead and put our front on and get that out of the way. Of course, I'm using my art glitter glue, which I nearly use about for every card, every project really. But I love my art glitter glue, and it works. It's about time for a refill and a washing of the lid. Because sometimes I forget to put my pen back in right away. It gets a little clogged on me. Well, come on now. Okay, I don't want to be taking up a lot of time messing with this glue. Okay. And the reason it gets clogged is because we keep pushing the clog back down into the bottle. Alright. Here we go. I think I'm almost out of glue too. I'm going to have to refill my bottle pretty soon here. Well, there we go. Sorry, didn't mean to spend time struggling with the glue. Okay. So we're just going to line this up with the front. Just kind of eyeball it. And straighten that out. Okay, So we got the front. Then we're just going to put that to the side, wipe my glue bottle off, and put my pen back in. Okay. So for the inside of the card, to get what we want, we're going to need to cut our paper. And we are going to be cutting it 9 3/4. So we're going to do 9 3/4. By 6 3/4. Okay, save all your scraps because you never know. Now, you're going to need a scoreboard, but if you don't have a scoreboard, that's okay. You really don't need a scoreboard. I'm going to use my trimmer. I've had several people ask me, what do I do because I don't have a scoreboard? Well, I'm going to show you how you can use your trimmer to do this. Okay, so all you're going to do is line your paper up right here, like you're going to cut, but leave your blade up. So our first measurement is going to be 2 1/8. So here's a 2 1/8 is the larger line right here on the trimmer. And I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to look at my paper all the way down to make sure it's even. And then I'm just going to take my little thing here, and where the blade goes, I'm just going to score my paper. Okay? And then we're going to slide it down. We're going to score at 6 3/8. So 6 is right here. Then we're going to go 1, 2, 3. 3/8. And we're going to score right here. Then we're going to flip our paper over like this. And we're going to score at 3 5/8. 5/8 is that one little line right here past the 3 1/2. So we're going to put that on there, and we're going to score at 3 5/8. Okay. Now, we are going to still use our paper trimmer, but I want to show you the line. So then we're going to flip the card over this way, because if I was using my scoreboard, it would be like this. Okay? So the wide part is going to be inside your card like this. Okay, this is your inside of your card. This is going to be the part that's cut out, and this is going to be cut out. This is going to be folded down, and this one is going to be folded up. And then this one is going to be folded like this. So you're going to have something that looks like this when you fold it. So this is going to be glued on the inside right here, like this. This is going to be up, so you're going to have a mountain here and a valley here. So that when you open it, it's going to look like this. Does that make sense? I'm sure Jennifer does a much better job explaining this. Okay. Now, we're going to have to mark our area to be cut out. Now, to cut this out, you can absolutely use your ruler and your craft blade. I did not, whoops, sorry, didn't mean to move the camera there. I do not have a very good craft blade on hand right now. And so, and I don't like using them anyway. If we remember the incident with the hand where I almost cut my hand off. So, what we're going to do, and I love my 10-pulse ruler for this. We are going to do on this wider middle section right here, we're going to put our ruler down. Okay. And we're going to come down 1 inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it from this way. 1 inch. Right there, I'm going to line it up with the score line and come down 1 inch. Now, before I mark my place, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3/8 of an inch over, and then I'm going to mark my little line. Then I'm going to come over here and line my ruler up and go down 1 inch. And I'm going to come over 1, 2, 3, and mark my little line. Okay, does that make sense? I'm coming down 1 inch, then I'm coming 1, 2, 3, 3/8 of an inch over. Okay? Same thing. I think I marked a little bit wrong over here. 1 inch, 1, 2, 3, 3/8 of an inch over. Okay? Then I'm going to turn my ruler over. I'm going to get an eraser and rub that out first, then I'll get confused. Okay. And then I'm going to come over here and turn my ruler over. And I'm going to put this on the line, on the score line right here, and at 1 inch. Okay? And then all I'm going to do is come over 1, 2, 3/8 of an inch over. And I'm going to put my little dot there. Then I'm going to come over here and put this on this score line and make sure I'm only doing 1 inch. 1, 2, 3. And put a little line. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line my ruler up on my dots. Now, we're not cutting from the top to the bottom. We're only cutting from this little dot and this little dot. But I'm going to draw my line all the way down. And the reason I'm doing that is because I am using my trimmer to cut this. I want it to be straight, so I want to have something to line up with my blade. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to come over here to the 3/8 inch, so this line, these two lines over here, put my ruler down on the lines. And then I'm just going to draw a line there. Now I'm going to connect my lines. That line seems a bit off to me. It is just a tiny bit. You know, I tell you, I can't even draw a straight line with a ruler. It's pretty bad, isn't it? But it won't matter as long as I get my top line done. Then I'm going to connect these two marks here. And I'm going to connect these two marks here. I hope this makes sense, guys. So this is the area that I'm cutting out right here, where my rectangle is. Now, if you have dies, a rectangular die, this would work beautifully with that. And like I said, you can cut this out. Now, Jennifer showed this being measured all over again, but you know what? I decided that I could just continue this line all the way across here. And I'm lining up with the score line here, and then this line right here. And here's my score line right here. So I'm lining this up all the way across my little line there. And I'm just drawing a line that goes from here to here. And then I'm going to come over and do 3/8 of an inch. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to mark a little space there. And then from this line, 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to mark a little space here. Okay. And then I'm going to go straight across from this line. And draw my line. And then I'm going to line up on that line. And go 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. And then I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to connect my lines. Make sure that I have a nice straight line this time. It would help if I hold my ruler still. And then I'm going to come over here and align these two dots. And hold my ruler still. Okay, I'm going to go back on this one. I forgot to do the starting point and the ending point. Okay. Now, like I said, I don't want to do this with a craft blade. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this line that I drew all the way to the top up in my trimmer. Make sure my paper is nice and straight and this line is following all the way down. Then I'm going to turn my trimmer sideways. Okay. So before I press down, I'm going to, let me line this back up. I'm going to take my little bar right here. And you see, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little line right there. And I can see on this side. It's really best to hold it down. Okay. Now, I'm going to line it up with this little line right here. My line. And I'm going to slide it all the way down till that line hits the bottom of this line. Then I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to shift my paper over to this line that I drew all the way up. Make sure my paper is even. Slide it down. Now, I have not moved my trimmer, but just make sure it's lined up on that line. And I'm going to slide it all the way back till I get to this line. And even though I can't see this line over here, I can see it over here. And that's why I drew the line straight across from each other. So that way I know it's even. So I have these two pieces cut out. Then I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to line this up here on my trimmer so that my paper is nice and even. I'm going to put this down. And then I'm going to turn my trimmer around this way on this line so I can see. So I'm lined up on that line and I'm going all the way down till I get to this line. Okay? And then I'm going to move my paper over to this one. Close it back down. Didn't move. And I'm going to slide it back down till I get to that top line again. So I hope that makes sense what I'm doing. And just in case you can't see, there's a little line right there on my score tool, and that helps me line those lines up. But that is the reason that I drew my lines all the way to the top. So now all I have to do is just take my eraser and erase those top lines and bottom lines off. Now I am not going to cut these pieces apart with the trimmer. I just think that's for me, that is too difficult. So, and this is easier to do. So all I'm going to do is lift this up out of here, put my scissors on that line, and just cut it straight across. Okay? Same thing. Just line it up. This one's easy because it's very short. And if you don't get it perfect, it's not that big of a deal. A lot of these things are going to be covered up with decorations and stuff. And so, there we go. So those are our lines. And like I said, you just take your pencils and rub out any pencil marks that you have where I went straight across. And you get those. Okay. Now, when you open your card base, I'm going to turn it around this way so you can see. The wide part is on this side, on the inside of your card part, right? And then you have your window here and your window here, and then this part you can actually write on, or this part. So when you fold it up, and I'm just going to fold mine over like this. So now you want to go back and really reinforce these, the score lines, and your paper can show you how to fold it. But basically, the wide part you're going to fold up, and we're just going to press down on that score line really good. So this part you're going to fold up. This part is going to be folded up. So where your little window frames to start is going to be a mountain, like that. And then the part on this end is going to be a valley. Just fold on that score line. So it's going to be like this when you glue it down. Okay? Does that make sense? Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of decorate my card a little bit before I put it in there. Just a little bit. I mean, some things I will still do. So all I'm going to do now is take my stamp block, which I've already loaded. And I'm going to stamp Happy Spring Shine Bright on this side. And I'm going to be using my Stampin' Up! Grapefruit Grove. It's such a pretty spring color. And this is one that came in my paper pumpkin kit. And I love this color. It's so pretty. Okay. And then I'm just going to put it down about right here somewhere. Oops. I got a little ink. We'll wipe that off first. I'm just going to stamp that right there. And just hold it for a second, let the ink transfer. There we go. Isn't that pretty? That's so pretty. Okay. Now, what else am I going to stamp? Right here, along this card, there's that little narrow gap there. These little flowers that came with the kit, it's almost like a border piece. They work beautifully there. So I'm going to use my Memento ink. I mean, not Memento ink, my VersaFine ink. And I'm going to stamp the flowers down here, and then I'll color those. So I'm going to come up here to the top. I'm going to hold my card down. I'm just going to line it up on that line and stamp. And then I'm going to wipe the ink off. And then come down a little ways farther and stamp. And then I'm going to do it on this side. Okay. And then I'm going to put a piece of scrap paper underneath here. And I'm just going to stamp those. Okay. So that's just for decoration purposes only. Then I'm going to wipe this off. Okay. And when I'm letting my stamps dry after I wipe them off, I've been trying just to put them on the outside of the package so they can dry. And so that I don't lose them, they're with the package. Okay. There we go. And I think on this piece, what I did was I stamped the little sunshine and some flowers and the grass here. So we're going to do that. We're going to take the little sunshine, which is so cute. This whole stamp set, guys, this is really, really cute. There's so many possibilities, so many things that you can do with it. So many combinations. And I love combining my stamp sets with other stamp sets that I have. So I'm just going to put a sun right up there. And I'm going to color him in. Wipe him off. Say, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun. Sorry, I was channeling my inner Barney. And then I'm going to grab the little spring flowers. Put that on my stamp block. And these stamp so nicely. And I'm just going to stamp one right there. They are high quality polymer stamps. And I'm going to go up just a little bit and stamp one there. Okay. And then this has some cute little grass on it. And I'm going to put some grass on it now. And to do that, I'm not going to stamp that in black ink. I am actually going to stamp this with my pistachio ink. I'm going to be stamping it around the little flowers. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp along the border here. Okay. And I think on this one I came up a little bit higher on the grass part right here. I came all the way up, and I don't think I'm going to do that on this one. Kind of, you know, live and learn, test the waters out. Okay. So that is all I'm going to do right now for this one as far as stamping goes. Now I'm just going to color this in, and I have been using my gel pens and they work wonderful. I've been trying to do different mediums, so but I'm going to color these in, and I'll be back and show you what it looks like. Okay guys, so it is all colored. I'm trying to let it dry. That's what it looks like so far. Now we're going to go ahead and put our card in here. When you're using gel pens though, I will recommend you please let it dry very well, because if you don't, you're going to smear your ink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this down sideways on the paper with the biggest part toward myself and kind of line this up a little bit. So I'm just going to use my art glitter glue. You can use tape if you would like. I mean, you can use any kind of medium you want, but I'm going to use art glitter glue because it allows me some wiggle room, and I'm not always perfect with getting it on there the first time, so I want some wiggle room. So you're just going to put glue all the way up to the score line. And then if you do it this way, it's going to be easier to do. You're just going to line this up so you have about the same amount from the top to the bottom. And then press this down. Now, I'm trying to make sure my things are dry because I don't want to get ink in there. So I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this and lay it down like this, so it doesn't mess up my card if the ink's not good and dry. Now we are just going to ink up this largest size on the end, not the windows. So I mean not ink up, but glue. So I'm going to put glue on my edges here. Okay. And then I'm going to lay this down flat. It should be the same amount. If we did it right on this side, it'll be right on this side. So I'm just going to lay this down. Make sure my ink's dry there. Okay. So there we go. Then that folds up. I'm going to put that paper there. I still don't trust this yet. Alright. So we have this right here. Then we're going to put our flowers and stuff on it. Okay, so now we're going to start decorating. And I went ahead and already pre-stamped and colored some pieces. These are the flowers, little round flower from here. And these are really nice, and I'll show you why in a minute. And then I had some of these flowers. This is another stamp. And then I cut out, I fussy cut one of the birds out. And some more flowers and some leaves. I have some little leaves here. So we have all those. And I went ahead and die cut one of these out. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my flower. Now, what's really cool about these, when you stamp them, you can actually cut them out and cut apart the leaves. You can just slice down into the leaves, which is what I've done with most of mine. Then I'm going to take, this is a trick I learned, and I don't know where I learned it. I might even made it up. I'm going to slide my paddle between my pencil lid tip and pen and just roll the flower petal back like that. Or you can just take your hand and roll it around the pencil too, which probably doesn't take as long as trying to get that in there. But I'm just rolling these petals back just to give them some texture. I'm just going to show you on a few of these, and then I'm going to go ahead and decorate. Then I'm taking the pencil in, pushing it into the palm of my hand, and you have a cute little flower. So I'm going to put a couple up here and some down here. The one thing I will tell you about putting them at the top of your card is to make sure that when you close the card, is they don't come above. And well, my last card, I felt like you could put them right there, almost in between the two cards. When you close it, it will not show. So I'm going to put 3 over here and 1 there, and a couple of down here. When I get through with that, I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is what I have. Now, I also put a little birdhouse in there like this, and I just went ahead and fussy cut this out. And I will say these steps are very easy to fussy cut out, and I'm just going to cut the leg off of that, and I'll show you why. And I'm going to glue that in there first. Now, to glue this in here, I'm just going to open the card, and I'm going to look at exactly where my card's going to land, because when you open it up, I want you to be able to see the birdhouse. And I'm just pushing it straight in there like that. Excuse me, y'all. And then I'm just going to foam tape this on here. Got a piece of foam tape. And I'm going to push it up like this, so that it has a little dimension in it. Okay, and then I also fussy cut one of the little birdies out. And I'm just going to glue that to the birdhouse, or right there by the birdhouse. So it has dimension. I'm just going to reach in there like that and glue that. And then I thought I would glue another little flower in the middle of it. And just put that like that. And then that's what you see when you get out. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so for the front, we're just going to stamp Thinking of You, and that is from this stamp set here. Thinking of You. I'm going to put that across there. And I'm going to sort of bend it a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just put it straight. There we go. And we're going to put that in the middle. And I'm just going to use my VersaFine ink for that. Okay. And then I'm going to take my little flower strip here, put that on here, just to make a little border with it. And I think I'm going to use the grapefruit grove here on the flower, just to bring in some of the color from the inside. And I'm going to stamp that right up underneath. Okay. And then all I did was take one of my gel pens, I think I'll use pink, and go around the edges of it and just sort of outline the scallop, just so it wouldn't be so plain. You do have to be careful that you don't smear the ink though, because it will smear. And we're almost done. Really, the longest part is getting all your measurements and getting it cut. And it really isn't hard. You just have to remember, when you're cutting your windows out, 1 inch down and 3/8 of an inch away from the edge. Just so that you don't cut your paper too thin and it rips on you, because you're going to want that for support. And all I'm going to do is put some foam tape on the back